Yep. Part three, huh? So, okay, back to this whole. Yeah, I'm thinking like basically, Russia is the spread route and the connection between the whole planet. I'm thinking some of the natives of America came from Russia. I mean, and if you go to Russia and you go to certain parts of it, you will find Asiatic looking people that look almost like Eskimos. You know what I'm saying? And then, but like I said, my people's legend says uh, we came from the east. That's over there on the east side of Canada. That would be up toward off of New England or Iceland, Greenland, the Greenland Iceland route. But I mean, still, you can hit that from above the Nordic countries, and you're in Russia again. So you can hop off Russia if you know how to voyage out there good enough. And if you like, say someone say just keep going east, and you'll hit a big island. And then you go east of that island, and you hit another island. And you go east again. If you see snow, you're too far north. Go south until it's green. And if you keep going south, it'll get greener and more hot. And you could describe the peoples that you'll meet. You know what I'm saying? For instance, and this probably was done like that. But once again, how did the Scottish learn about Mithraism, which is a composite Greek, Egyptian sun god, the something bull, the Papist bull or something like that. But look up Mithraism. If you're unfamiliar, it's sun worship. It's based off Egyptian. It's Rosicrucianism. Here's something I learned too. Okay, in Isaiah, it talks about, "O Lucifer, thou son of the morning." But it also talks about in Job how in the morning all the angels and Satan would go and they would kind of like do this ritual ceremony where they all would watch the concession of the sun. I mean, because if you think about it, right before sunrise, you got the moon. It's still in the sky a lot of times. You got that morning star that's there before the sun comes up. So you got the constellation still, the moon out, and the sun are all there all at once. So I mean, I'm not sure if that's something to do with it, but I realize this too. I think it's in Ezekiel, and it talks about it takes him under a temple, and he can see these people doing all these weird ceremonies in secret in God's temple. They're pretending this is a holy place, but they're in there doing pagan mystery religion, Babylonian sacrificial sex magic, fertility ritual, Moloch type situations. Okay, and they would look to the east. They'd go and they'd stare at the east. You know what I'm saying? And in China, they would stare at the east. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, where have I heard this before? You know what I'm saying? And then you look in Job, and I think Job 1:6, and then the Lucifer, son of the morning. And I'm pretty sure that Jesus is also called a son of the morning. So a son of the morning isn't a singular title for one God. It's a class or a description of heavenly. I don't want to say entities because an entity to me for some reason feels like malevolent. You know what I'm saying? But beings, that's better. Beings are neutral. Could be good, could be bad. You know what I'm saying? Or it's speculation still. I don't know for sure what they are. I've heard descriptions. Continents of lightning. That's what an angel looks like. Or ability to appear as different things. Or to ability to talk to you, be visible to you, and everyone around is somehow blind to it. You know what I'm saying? Like they won't even hear you talk to the angel. Like he can cloak you. You know what I'm saying? Things of that nature. So in angels, the fallen angels, in Watchers, in Enoch, these are the little g gods. These are also the Greek gods. These are the Chinese gods. These are the gods of the Mayan. These are the gods of the Egyptians. This Mithraism, Helios, Apollyon, the dragon, the sun, humanism, man becoming God, like Pharaoh said, "I am God," is what he said, and then he shortly after suffered severely for saying it. But that's really what it is. They believe through the authority of the sun, by the order of the serpent, and it talks about the beast giving his power over to the dragon. His authority, or the dragon gives its authority to the beast. You know what I'm saying? And the serpent are the same. they're different interpretations from different cultures, but yet they're talking about the same thing, and it's to do with the sun. And like I said, that Arboreal Borealis, or the sky, uh, fiery serpent. That's like, I seen a movie where like these people were all walking with torches in a straight single file. That looks like a serpent too, as well, a fiery flaming serpent. Uh, but the connections. Let me see here. Yeah, the Leonardo da Vinci connection between the weapons manufacturer of China and India. It seems like there's a connection there, and it might have came even from Greece, or not Greece, but maybe Egypt had some of these type of mind guys who could draw schematics, and they taught people, and like Paragathis spreading the numerological geometry and but they basically, this was all things taught to them in this Watchers in Enoch, first Enoch, the only legit text, because it's quoted in Jude, explains this, where Azazel taught men how to build weapons of war, and this other guy taught infanticide, one guy taught how to read the stars, another dude talked about weather. Like, basically, it's all, they taught them sciences, you know what I'm saying, basically, in return for worship and reverence, like, plus, how did they get these, enticing these daughters of men to be with them? They taught them things. Just like Satan, how did he get Eve? He said, eat of this. He convinced her to eat of this, and once she ate of it, through that knowledge that got downloaded somehow, now Satan had a platform to manipulate. You know what I'm saying? Because now you understand what I'm saying, but before, when you were ignorant, I couldn't get at you, because I'd explain to you a subdural neurophone, and it would just go over your head, as it should. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, man, a lot, like, look, knowledge of good and evil, basically, man, it's kind of a neutral thing. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily neutral. It's more geared towards corruption, because power corrupts. Knowledge is power. You know what I'm saying? So that's why they conceal all this stuff. It's really simple once you break it down. It's laughable. You can go from culture to culture to culture to culture and just see the same, same similar certain similarities anyway. You know what I'm saying? Because they all vary in certain degrees or at certain points, and certain original knowledge filtered through different cultures in different ways. It's like you can see in Japan that philosophy is expounded on in Budo. You know what I'm saying? But Budo's got some good points, but it's got some really crazy, wacko, weird points too, like all the ritual suicide. You know what I'm saying? That's not good. But honor thy mother and thy father is good, but don't revere them, which they did as well. And here's another thing. You can see how the Japanese and the Chinese had all these weapons. What did Azazel teach men? Weapons. You know what I'm saying? So in the Chinese, or the Japanese, straight up say that an angel came and gave this guy revelation on how to make the curved sword. I mean, if you look at that process, it is difficult. I mean, the master of alchemy supposedly is Hermes. And Hermes is a real guy, supposedly. I mean, he was a real man. You know what I'm saying? Or at least walking around, talking and teaching. The Emerald Tablets of Thoth, either, whether they are a forgery or a deception, like maybe they're real, but not real in the sense that they're presented to you as, kind of like Stitchin. He's presented to you as some kind of archaeological scholar. And he's not. He was a journalist, but he was a Brotherhood member of the Masons, so they could have had a team working on it. Or not, Stitchin might have just been the guy. They said, hey, man, let's put this on your credit. And Stitchin's like, okay, shoot, yeah, man. And people are running with that, Stitchin's work, and just and clinging to it like it's a fucking religion. It's like the Raelian cult. You know what I'm saying? Because these Anunnaki, I mean, and it talks about in the Bible, the sons of Anak. That's Anunnaki. You know what I'm saying? And then you got the Indian, or the Hopi, talk about the ant people, and basically the way they pronounce their name is close, similar to the Anunnaki. You know what I'm saying? And then you got these people over here in the Mayans. It's the Anunnaki, the Watchers, the fallen angels, the sons of God that came and got the daughters of men. I mean, it's so simple. And like, what do they do in alien abductions? They take genetic material. They take the women, they steal their eggs, they take dudes, they put a machine on them down here, and who knows what they do with these genetic materials. I mean, this sounds like this is barking up the same territory. Let's say the fallen were, like, say when God judged them, their angelic forms were reduced, withered. So now they're these like little smeagles of them old of their previous selves. And now through men and women, they're trying to reconstitute a new kind of heavenly angelic slash hybrid man, demonic machine Terminator Manchurian, demonically charged Manchurian. I mean, Russ Dizdar talks some good game on the Black Awakening about satanic super soldiers. You know what I'm saying? And you read some of these ancient legends, like you could say Hercules kind of as a Hercules would be a super soldier. I mean, but the Bible talks about that the sons of the fallen angels were the men of renown, like Achilles, like Hercules, like there's mythological heroes throughout all cultures, dude. Some of them are giants with 6 fingers, man. I seen it, man. Fucking this drawing in a Buddhist temple. This dude had 6 fingers on him, and I mean, it's like I was like, wow, dude. Don't surprise me none. I mean, but it's awesome to see that because it's like only the the studiers, man, would know that 6 fingers, 6 toes is a reference to giants. You know what I'm saying? Steve Quayle's good for teaching you the ups to downs of the giants, the angels, and related topics. You know what I'm saying? Like I've learned a lot from that dude as well. And I mean, before I mean, my grandma always told me there was giants in the earth in those days. That's why when I heard that, and then I also remembered the Indian legends that I read about giants, and then it all clicked in like, you know what I'm saying? I've always believed in the Bible, but I didn't realize how deep it went. How Babylon, Nimrod, this is where all this descended from in ancient time at the Tower of Babel, and you can see it runs through. Look, you got pyramids, you got this philosophy. You got this philosophy strong in China. It's because it's related to sociology. You got it strong in China. You have it strong in Greece. They understood evil society. They understood good society. Like some of the men were trying to plead people to come back to morality. They seen their society slipping away to corruption. And they knew that would lead to the destruction of the society that they happened to be a part of. So it would mutually draw them too. Their way of life was under attack. So they had to come up with philosophy to compel men to come back to at least try to better things. I mean, because listen, philosophy is very neutral. You know what I'm saying? It's good. It does lead to wisdom. It does lead to knowledge. It is a way to learn. But it is also, what are you learning through it? Which philosophy are you following? What is your ultimate stance? Is it that morality is fixed or is it flux? You know what I'm saying? I mean, my personal belief is it's fixed. But these men philosophized that it was fluxed. And it led people to just do as thou wilt. Basically, it doesn't matter. I mean, but actually, the do as thou wilt law, it actually comes from, it really comes from God. It's just these satanic people coined the phrase and kind of hijacked it, because God's not holding a gun to none of our heads. He just simply compels us. He gives us a choice. Will you follow this, or you can follow whatever you want? But look, I'm going to tell you now what'll happen later. You can choose to take that to the bank, or you can disregard it. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, God drops knowledge of philosophy all throughout the Bible. The Bible's full of philosophy. But see, bad philosophy is just vain philosophy. It's like, I just want to argue, and just for the sake of it. I just want to learn for the sake of my glory. You know what I'm saying? Of my ascension and evolution and apotheosis. Through my own consciousness, I can strive so hard I can become God like or God-ish.